What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of our DNT Academy. And today we're going to take a look at the Hydra LRF and the ThermNight lineup, and we're going to do a head-to-head comparison. We have a previous video where we did a comparison of the Hydra non-LRF and the ThermNight, so if you want to watch that video, we'll link it. But we're going to do a comparison now of the Hydra LRF and the ThermNight here. We're going to go over some similarities, we're going to go over the differences, go over the use cases, and then try and help y'all make a little bit more informed buying decision if you're stuck between these two optics. So up first here, let's go over some similarities between the Hydra LRF and the ThermNight. Both of these are going to be 635Rs from both of the series, and they're going to have 640 by 512 sensors. So both of these are going to have thermal capabilities. They're both going to have now a integrated laser rangefinder, which also pairs with our DNT Optics app and our built-in ballistics calculator. So you can laser your target, get your range, and once you've inputted your dope into the app and synced it up with your unit, you can then get your holdover or have your crosshair dialed in to that distance. So that's an awesome feature that we now have included into the Hydra in the laser rangefinding series. But once we talk about thermal between these two units, they really start to separate themselves in use cases and in feature sets. And then another thing is the size and the weight of these, which will really play into the features and the use cases when we get to that. But the size and the weight of these units is vastly different. The ThermNight with the added IR illuminator, the larger battery, and the digital day and nighttime sensor just lends this to be a much larger optic compared to the Hydra, whether it's the LRF and non-LRF version, which plays into, you know, the 3-in-1 feature set of the Hydra itself, which we'll get into. The Hydra is a true 3-in-1 unit. And what do we mean by that? It means that the Hydra first is a standalone optic, meaning you can mount this up on your rifle and you can use it as a standalone thermal. And then second is it's a handheld scanner. The size and weight of this, being how small and compact it is, allows it, you know, when paired with the QDM 150 that the optic now comes with, it allows you to pull it up off your gun, do your handheld scanning, and then whenever you see a target or see whatever you would then like to point your gun at, you know, because that's one of the benefits of running this as a handheld scanner is, you know, you're not pointing your gun everywhere. It's smaller, it's lighter, you can maneuver a little bit easier. Once you find your target, you can put it back on your gun and you can take your shot if that's what you would like to do. And then also, one of the things we noticed is with how small and light this unit is, what we could do is we could mess with some firmware and we could optimize the Hydra as best as we could for running it in and as a clip-on in clip-on mode. So with that, you can take the Hydra, you can put it in clip-on mode, and you can put it in front of your favorite LPVO setup, and then add thermal capabilities to a rifle that maybe you don't want to dedicate to a night gun, or again, you just really want to add thermal capabilities to that rifle. The Hydra is going to allow you to do that. And please note that whenever optimizing the Hydra for clip-on mode, standalone, handheld, and all of that, one of the features that is lost in the clip-on mode is the use of the laser rangefinder. So it's a little unfortunate, but if you would like to use the laser rangefinder, the unit will need to be in standalone or handheld mode. Another key feature that's going to set the Hydra LRF and the non-LRF series apart from the ThermNight is going to be our ISR, or our image super resolution, which with algorithms and just the system internally, what we're capable of doing is using AI, using some algorithms, and enhancing the image that you see whenever you zoom in to give you as clear of an image as possible is really the best way to put it. You're able to zoom in to more closer to that max magnification and still have a clearer image than if you weren't using the ISR or the image super resolution. And then two more small differences between the Hydra and the ThermNight is going to be the battery size. The Hydra is going to use an 18650, and then also internally for the video and audio recording and all that, the internal storage is going to be maxed out at 32 gigabytes on the Hydra lineup, and then on the 225R it's 32 gigabytes on the ThermNight series, and then the 335R and 635R are going to have 64 gigabytes for internal storage for your videos and things like that. But honestly, I rarely see anybody ever maxing out the 32 gigabyte storage because most people, once they pull their footage off their thermal, what they can do is they can reformat their SD, or they just delete the files via the app or via the optic itself. We have our ThermNight. Guys, this is our flagship unit here. This is the unit that really put us on the map. What we were able to do with this, many other companies have tried, but they didn't do it as successfully as we did, and I'll put my stamp of approval on that. The ThermNight, guys, it's going to have a integrated IR illuminator that you can change and also focus. You have your integrated laser rangefinder, again with the ballistics calculator, and then you have your digital day and nighttime sensor up top and your thermal sensor. So when looking at this from the front, there is a lot going on here, but this is a very feature-rich product that I've seen everybody from beginners all the way up to experienced night hunters choosing this because of its capabilities. One of the biggest benefits that you have with the digital day and nighttime sensor is positively identifying targets, and that goes both ends of the spectrum. From a newer hunter who, you know, let's just say you're not too familiar with the thermal side of things, and you know, the shape that you see out there, you might think it's a pig, but it might actually be a deer or a calf bedded down because it is low to the ground. Or maybe there's something that's coming into one of your calls, it's a dog, it's shaped like a dog. You don't know if it's Rufus, the next door neighbor's pup, or you know, if it's a coyote rolling in. On the more experienced side of things, you start to get a little bit better understanding of what you're seeing via the thermal side. But what you can always do is you can, with a click of a button, swap over, go to that digital nighttime mode, take a look, and then positively identify that target. Again, on the more experienced side of things, you know, you could be hunting in, you know, a county or a state where you have dedicated fox or coyote seasons, and you know, whenever you have a dog rolling in and you're watching it via thermal, that fox may be running in like a coyote, or that coyote may be coming in like a fox. Again, one press of a button, you can look, you can PID, you can make sure it's a coyote, and you can take that shot. Then also, the digital day and nighttime sensor, it's going to have a 5 to 20 magnification, so a 5x base magnification, which also at nighttime allows you to take a little bit more precise long-range shots. But then also, if you have a gun that's completely dedicated to a nighttime setup that you're running a ThermNight on, you can swap it into the day mode, run the ballistics calculator, and I've shot my ThermNight out to 600 or so yards. And then, you know, just talking on digital night vision and things in general, the nighttime side of things, I've pushed out to the 500, and then even with our 4K or other optics in our entire lineup, we've seen shots out to a mile. So digital day and night vision, it's kind of I don't want to say taboo. Most people when they hear digital day and night vision, what they're not seeing or what they're not understanding is that the sensors now that are in these units, you know, the Sony StarViz 2, these sensors, for what they are really awesome, and the tech is advanced probably a lot farther than what the people that have a negative, you know, idea of digital day and night vision from the last time they used digital day and night vision to what it is now. So what we see there is when these guys get behind these optics and they shoot 500, 600, 700 yards during the daytime, they hop at nighttime, they're using thermal, they see something out, again, 300, 400, 500 yards, they swap over to digital night vision, they're able to take that more precise shot at distance. What we're seeing is, again, both ends of the spectrum with the ThermNight, of guys from new to experienced hunters absolutely loving this unit. So let's talk use cases here. If you're somebody who just solely wants thermal, that's all you want, easy pick, go with the Hydra. Then it's whether you want an LRF or non-LRF version. If you're somebody who has a rifle that you have a day optic on it, or maybe you have, again, a red dot, and you want extra thermal capabilities, boom, go for the Hydra. If you're somebody who has the capabilities to dedicate a gun to a nighttime setup, and you know, positively identifying a target is something that you could see beneficial, or you'd like to do some daytime shooting and daytime hunting. Not that thermal can't be used during the daytime, but again, the Sony StarViz 2 sensor on this during the daytime is very crisp and really nice to use. Then, you know, the ThermNight, is probably going to be your option there. And then again, if you're somebody who just wants the smallest, lightest, most compact thermal that we offer, then the Hydra is going to be the choice there as well. So with just a few general use cases listed out there, guys, which optic is right for you? Which one did you go with? Which one are you looking at purchasing? And what are you putting it on? Do you want the Hydra to run it as a clip-on? Do you want the Thermite because you're new? Or do you want the Thermite because you want to be able to take those longer range nighttime shots? And the digital day and nighttime sensor is just such an added benefit for you that it sways you more towards the Thermite side. We want to know. Leave that down in the comments, guys. If you'd like to pick up either one of these optics, you can go to us.dntoptics.com or visit your local dealer. And be sure to like and subscribe and drop any new DNT Academy topics that you'd like to see us film down in the comments below.